Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're at Disneyland to share with you 15 things that will go wrong on your Disneyland vacation and how to prepare for them. So let's get going. Now this video has got a bit of an interesting premise, okay? So I came up with this idea, can I come up with a list of things that will potentially ruin someone's day if they do something wrong, and then be able to give them the advice on avoiding that. And I came up with maybe 3 or 4 things on my own that I thought would apply. However, 4 tips isn't going to go very far in a video. So I went to ChatGPT. It's not the first time that I've done that. We also did a video maybe about 6 months ago where we let ChatGPT create a schedule for us for the entire day at Disneyland and see how accurate it was. Well, I decided to see if it had any advice on what things could go wrong at Disneyland. And I, just use it, something like that sometimes, for just like maybe 1 or 2 extra tips. But this one was just too funny. The response is too funny to pass up. Some of them are quite hilarious. Some of them are spot on and they're good. And others of them, man, are they just so wrong. That I thought we'd share ChatGPT's full list of 15 items that will go wrong on your Disneyland vacation and talk about whether they're accurate or not. So the first thing, according to ChatGPT, that will go wrong on your Disneyland vacation is that you will underestimate the crowds. And then they have this little pithy phrase underneath the headline that says, "You thought Tuesday in September would be empty, so did 60,000 other people." I love it. The little pithy phrases underneath the topics. That's what I was reading through this, and I just thought, this is too hilarious not to share. There is truth to it, right? You'll underestimate the crowds. That's why you've heard me say it recently too, within the last week, if you've been watching all my videos. You'll say that I often come to the park expecting the worst, and then when it's not as busy as I was expecting, I'm pleasantly surprised. And that's my philosophy when it comes to Disney, and I share that then, I share that now. Because underestimating the crowds is definitely a mistake that you can make. And you don't want to do that, because if you come here expecting everything to just be sunshine and roses and empty, and then it's busier than you wanted, it just leads to frustration. So definitely don't underestimate the crowds. I mean, I create crowd updates, right, to give you a realistic expectation. But those realistic expectations, those crowd updates, they're just one day out of the whole week. And they're just one time frame throughout that day. I might come on a Thursday, and it's a weekday. And so maybe the weekday is less crowded, right? I might come on a Saturday. And you say, well, it's a weekend. Yeah, but Saturdays are also the most expensive day of the week, so if people were trying to come cheaper, maybe they come during the week. So maybe Saturday isn't as crowded. It's hard to really judge and weigh every single factor that goes into coming up with crowd estimations, which is why we do them so often, so that you can see what they are at different times. I've done rope drop ones. Usually when I do crowd updates, I do them at maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so you can check out my crowd update videos. If you want to look at, usually I do them about once a month, sometimes more frequently, but you can check out my crowd update videos if you're planning a trip in March. I've got a crowd update for that. If you're coming in May, I've got a crowd update for that, to help you kind of figure out what the crowds are going to be like. But the bottom line is, just expect it to be busy, and then hopefully it's not. The second item on the list here is that you'll forget to rope drop. And the pithy phrase, you said you'd get there at 7:30 a.m., but that hotel bed just hit differently. Oh, I love it. These phrases are really good for AI, right? Yeah, you forget to rope drop, of course. Rope drop. Man, what more can I say about rope drop? Indiana Jones behind me here, one of my rope drop destinations. If you're not going to Space Mountain or Peter Pan, probably Indiana Jones. I mean, I know most people go to Rise of the Resistance, but if you've watched my videos for any length of time, you know how I feel about Rise of the Resistance as a rope drop destination. Indiana Jones is okay. I still prefer Space Mountain as my #1, but definitely rope dropping is one of the best times and one of the best ways to ride rides at Disneyland. It's just, the park is so empty that entire first hour, even 2 hours. Yes, you get pretty close at park close, right in the evening, but I don't like having the closing time like hanging over my head. Oh man, the park closes in 10 minutes. Oh man, the park closes in 5 minutes. I need to rush, I need to get somewhere. There's a much chiller vibe at Rope Drop. I know it's not for everyone, as the little comment said. You'd rather stay in your bed, right? You're on vacation. You don't want to get up earlier than you normally do, or don't want to have to get up early at all, right? So I get it. It's not for everyone, but absolutely Rope Drop, to me, is pretty essential. And the next item is you'll get sunburned or soaked. It's either blazing heat, an unexpected downpour, or both. Welcome to California Magic. I kind of agree with half of it. I disagree with the other half of it. That one's not quite as funny, I suppose, but it tried to be a little sarcastic. Yes, getting sunburned, absolutely a thing. Typically, I mean, look at today. Not quite as sunny as I was expecting it to be, but it doesn't need to be sunny to get sunburned. Keep that in mind as well, of course. But as far as the downpour goes, I think it's confused it with Florida. Florida, if it were Florida, I mean, I didn't say Disneyland, but it even said right there in the thing, California Magic. So I know that it got the right location. But the downpours are in Florida, not here. Does it rain here? Absolutely, yes, it does. But are they downpours? Not really. I would more. So as a once Floridian, I used to live in Florida for about 7 years. The rain here is what we would call a drizzle. Maybe a light rain, light mist, right? In Florida, when we're talking about downpours, like we're talking about so thick that there's a wall of white that you can't see more than 5 feet in front of you. Yeah, that doesn't happen here. Even really heavy downpours that you can see through don't really happen here. So you don't have to worry about rain too much. It's a very dry climate, very dry place, but sunburn, definitely bring some sunscreen. The next thing that may go wrong on your Disneyland vacation is that you'll spend half the day in line for food. Mobile order or not, you are still waiting 45 minutes for a $17 churro and a Diet Coke. that was the pithy phrase. Yeah, I don't know about that one, right? Churros are $5.50, maybe $6 if they've gone up, 17 bucks. So that's $11 for the Diet Coke. I don't think that's going to be the case. So a clear over-exaggeration, and 45 minutes for a churro and a Coke? Probably not. And it did say mobile order or not. You can't even mobile order a churro. This is a churro cart behind me, and this is the line. So there's definitely a line, right? Definitely a line queued up for it. But mobile ordering is definitely the recommendation here. Is mobile order the magic button? No, not really. I did mobile order at Studio Catering Company at DCA about a week or two ago, doing the DCA Halloween Foods video, and it took 30 minutes. So they can still get backed up. And it doesn't happen that often though, right? Okay, it doesn't happen that often. Generally speaking, if you mobile order, your mobile order is going to be ready within 3 to 4 minutes of you pushing the I'm here button. It can be longer, but in very rare circumstances, it's actually faster to wait through the standby line. I always tell people to mobile order if you can, because mobile ordering allows you to look through the menus, pick out what you want to eat, pick out where you want to eat while you're waiting in line for other things. So you're saving the most amount of time, you're being efficient with your time, instead of spending 30 minutes bickering with your family and walking all over the park to settle for somewhere that you didn't really want to eat at in the end. While you're waiting in line for Matterhorn and it's a 45-minute wait, you could just be sitting there browsing the different menus, and you can rule out, yep, don't want to go to Galactic Grill. Oh, nope, don't want to go to Golden Horseshoe. Oh, you know what, Bengal Barbecue looks pretty good. You know, you can figure all of that stuff out. And then you can place the order right there. You got to order for 6 people. It might take a little while, so go through and scroll through the mobile order app. It's definitely the best way to go about ordering your food. You're going to have to stand in line for some things. Churros, they don't have mobile order. You want a churro, you got to come stand in line for it. Is this line going to take 45 minutes? No, this line is not going to take 45 minutes. Will it cost you 17 bucks? Disney's expensive, but no, it's not going to cost you $17. While a lot of things might go wrong on your Disneyland vacation that are unavoidable, what you don't want to go wrong is your cooking back at home. And today's sponsor, HelloFresh, is here to help. HelloFresh is the world's leading meal kit, delivering fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and recipes straight to your door. Every week, you can choose from a wide variety of customizable meals that allows you to swap out veggies and proteins to fit your family's needs. The ingredients are pre-portioned and individually packaged, saving you hours having to create a grocery list and picking everything out of the store. And you don't have to worry about keeping an entire container of that one specific seasoning you may never use again. It really takes the stress out of meal planning. My favorite part is that every meal comes with easy-to-follow recipes that even I can cook. And the portion sizes are perfect, filling up everyone in my family with very little waste. You can try HelloFresh for yourself today. New or returning subscribers get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life by scanning the QR code on your screen now or clicking the link down in the description and using my coupon code. And the fifth item that will go wrong on your Disneyland vacation is that the ride you've waited an hour for will break down. Right as you're the next aboard, of course. Yeah, how true is that? I mean, this one, oh, spot on. Spot on. They hit the nail on the head here. This was one of the items that I had on my own personal list because Rise the Resistance, the ride behind me here, is one that is notorious for this. It's happened to me, I don't know how many times. This attraction usually has quite a long wait. 45 minutes is mostly as low as it ever goes. I mean, I have seen it less. But 45 minutes is pretty average. 60 minutes is also pretty normal for this ride as well. You wait the whole time, and then you're in line, and all of a sudden, the lights come on, the sound goes off, and you hear, attention. And then they tell you the ride has temporarily closed. They encourage you that you can wait if you'd like, or you can leave the attraction. Generally, when this happens, we've just learned, immediately leave. Immediately leave. Any hopes that you have or that you're harboring of potentially this thing opening back up in the next like 5 minutes and just continuing going on? I've waited it more than a few times, and I've learned, and I've also talked with people to know that if it turns off for whatever reason and they have to reboot the system, you're looking at a minimum of 45 minutes. 45 minutes to get it going again. It's not going to be any shorter than that. So if you're okay waiting an additional 45 minutes in line, fine, go for it. But in my opinion, if it breaks down, you're best just leaving and coming back later. I guess it depends on how long you've already waited. Maybe the 45 minutes is worth it to you. For us, it's not, but we also have ridden the ride a handful of times, more than a handful of times. So it's not that big of a deal to us. I just give you that information so that you can make up your own mind, of course. Rides are going to break down. It happens. Sometimes the ride isn't even breaking, and I've shared this before a couple of times as well. It could just be as simple as a hat falls on the track. And because this is trackless, they have to stop the ride, go out, remove the item from the ground, and then because of their protocols, they have to reset the whole system, run it through safety protocols before they can let guests on again. And so that's why they tell you over and over again. Actually, lately they've been telling you to take the hat off before you even go in the interrogation chamber. Used to be they just tell you as you got on the ride vehicle. But this applies to other rides as well. In Credit Coaster, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, other rides, the roller coasters, they tell you, and you folks wearing hats or glasses, best remove them, right? Because the whole idea is you don't want these things falling off and causing the ride to go through its breakdown cycles. So just keep that in mind whenever you're here at Disneyland. Rides are gonna break down while you're in line, and hopefully it doesn't happen to you all that often, but it might. The next thing that will go wrong on your Disneyland vacation is that Lightning Lane Multi-Pass will confuse you, or you will buy it too late. And the pithy phrase that accompanies this one, I thought this replaced FastPass. Yes, and now your phone is your park map, and your guide, and your personal anxiety machine. That one's pretty good. Probably one of the #1 comments of frustration about Disneyland here on my channel, aside from food, because a lot of people are opinionated about food, is that Lightning Lane is just way too complicated. that it used to be pretty simple. The fast pass system was great. What'd they do away with it for? Of course, there's the typical complaint about Lightning Lane Multipass that it actually costs money now. But the cost factor aside, because let's be real, Disneyland was the only theme park still holding out on charging people for that service. It was only a matter of time before they finally broke down and did it. Am I justifying the charge? No, I'm not. I mean, I still wish it were free, right? Disney should have kept that one piece of magic for its guests, but the fact is that it's way more complicated now than it ever was before. Old fast pass system, you went to a box, you put your ticket in, it pumped out a time, you returned. If you were late, oh well, no big deal. You could show up really whenever, relinquish your ticket and get on. After a certain amount of time, you go and you would get another one. But now there's that still is pretty much the case, still like the 2-hour rule and whatnot. But now there's so many other rules, there's so many complications, like when rides break down, so many complications about not arriving early or not arriving late. There's the confusion about adding all of the people in your party to your group. You can't just collect everybody's tickets and go scan them somewhere. You've got to have them linked on your app ahead of time. And sometimes you'll try to link a ticket and it will give you an error. So now you have to talk to guest services. And really, there's just that just scratches the surface of it. There is so much more involved with booking Lightning Lane that I can't even cover it in this video. Not to mention, there's 3 different types of Lightning Lane. There's Multi-Pass, Single Pass, and Premier Pass. And, what's the difference between them? And all of that, again, complications abound. If you are interested in learning more about Lightning Lane, you can check out my exclusive Lightning Lane Multi-Pass video, which, if I remember, I'll put a link to down in the description. You can also find it on my channel just by searching for SoCal Disney Dad Lightning Lane. Now, the part about it where it said you'll buy it too late, is that true? Can you buy it too late? Well, if you purchased it at 6 p.m. in the evening, the chances of you getting your money's worth out of it are very, very slim. Additionally, by 6 p.m. in the evening, the only thing left is probably going to be the less popular rides like Autopia and It's a Small World and Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, but you can bet that Space Mountain, Indiana Jones, and the like Matterhorn are probably all going to be gone by that point in the evening. And so that's another complication of it. I mean, I guess they used to run out before too, but maybe not so much to the degree of whenever you have everything at your fingertips. Before, when you had to physically go to the box to do it, it didn't run out quite as fast because you had to actually be there. If you want to mention things that are better since Fast Pass, we used to have to designate a runner. What does that mean? Well, if you have a party of 8 people, they got to collect all 8 tickets, and then they got to go run across the park to get your, whatever your Fast Pass is that you're interested in, then run back to where your party is. You don't want to drag the whole party around, so you designate a runner. Don't have to do that anymore. Max Pass fixed that issue. I don't really know the fundamental differences between Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and Max Pass, other than the free option still existed back then, so people wouldn't pay for Max Pass, except for people who really didn't mind spending the $20. But anyway, Lightning Lane Multi-Pass can definitely be confusing. We'll cover this next one while walking through Galaxy's Edge here. It says, number 7 is, someone will probably have a meltdown. Maybe your kid, maybe your partner, maybe you, probably you. The wit that this comes up with for these little snarky phrases, I love it. I think we've already talked about this one to a certain extent. Of course, we didn't talk about the typical explanation of meltdowns. When traveling with children, make sure that they are well rested, and in the case of my children, make sure they are also well fed, okay? Making sure that you have plenty of snacks, whether you buy them Disney snacks or bring snacks from home. Making sure that they are well fed is the key to my children not having meltdowns. Now, other kids, it's going to be naps and rest, so make sure that you're going back to the hotel in the afternoon and taking an afternoon break if you need to. If you have some kids that are small enough that they can fall asleep in the stroller, bring whatever you need to make that possible. Bring your own stroller, because the chances of them falling asleep in a Disney stroller is pretty slim. They're hard plastic and upright and they don't recline, so bring something that reclines. I just passed a lady not too long ago that had white noise machine in her stroller as she was pushing it around, trying to get her child to fall asleep. So do whatever you need to allow them to fall asleep, get a nap. One person will have to sit out from a ride while the rest of the party, of course, goes and rides something to manage the child. Maybe you just put them in a baby carrier and they instantly fall asleep in a baby carrier. That's the best case scenario, because then you can go on rides like Pirates of the Caribbean while they're in the baby carrier, no problem, and you don't even have to miss out on doing any rides. But make sure that your kids are definitely taken care of with naps for energy and food, because those are the two big reasons why you're going to have meltdowns. And our next item is that you will miss the parade because you were in the wrong spot. You heard the music, ran toward the sound, and hit a wall of strollers. Yes, that one's pretty accurate, actually. Being late to a parade is going to be a huge mistake and something that will go wrong on your Disneyland vacation. In fact, the spot where that's going to take place is going to be right here behind me. This area is the parade route, and it goes down Main Street, USA, and then it's going to wrap that direction where you see the Main Street vehicle going, and it's going to go up towards It's a Small World. Well, this spot right here at the split, you see the split? There will be a wall of people right here where my hand is, and it'll, let's see, go, I'm like trying to do this mirrored on my phone, I don't know, whatever. It'll go that way, right? It'll go that way. And let me flip it around. You might be coming out of Adventureland over there, you hear the music and you come rushing out here, right? And the parade is going to be going through right here in the center, but the wall of people extends all the way back to like that ice cream cart over there. And so you'll still be able to see. That's something that isn't clear in the little description. But you'll still be able to see the tall floats especially, but the people that are down on the ground doing their acrobatics, be hard to see them because everyone's going to be standing and there's just going to be this wall of people right here. And because you're late to the program, you might not have that good of a view. You can still watch the parade, don't get me wrong. I have definitely showed up to parades last minute and just kind of jumped in the back of the line where, you know, underneath the rope or wherever the section is for viewing the parade at the last possible second, and I've been able to see it. And those times have been probably the best times for me to watch parades because it means I didn't have to sacrifice an hour and a half to 2 hours before the parade just sitting on Main Street. But if you want a seat and if you want the best view, that's what you're gonna have to do. You have to go find a spot early, you have to camp out for it. Usually we designate one person to camp, and then we'll put a blanket down and put backpacks at either end to just kind of make it obvious, hey, this is our spot. Even then you'll have some people who try to shove your stuff out of the way, but you know, do what you can. If you have two people that can sit out, one at either end, it makes it that much easier to manage your spot. But I've definitely reserved spots before. You just get there early and set some stuff out, and you might have to be a little aggressive with defending your spot, but you know, it's what you have to do if you want a seat. And if you don't want to sit on the curb and you want a park bench like over there or over here, oh man, those are even like more coveted, and people will camp out much earlier than 2 hours for those. So I couldn't even tell you when to show up for a park bench. There's none over on this side, but I couldn't tell you when to show up for a park bench. You will probably leave something back at home or at your hotel room and have to go back and get it. Be it sunglasses, a phone charger, meds, or bonus points if it's your Magic Band Plus. Leaving stuff behind is just something that happens, right? It happens to everybody. You think you have everything, no matter how much you make a list, no matter how much you plan, something gets left behind, and you might even all bring it here from home, and then, like I said, you leave it back at the hotel room. I almost left this at home. I kid you not. Today is the day of leaving things at home. My neck fan, I bring it all the time. I never forget it, never forget it. I was driving up the driveway, almost out of the driveway, and I had to back up and run back into the house and get it because I just suddenly remembered. I almost said, you know what, it's only gonna be 80 degrees today. Maybe I don't need it. And I probably didn't need it, but man, it's a lifesaver and I like it, even if I didn't necessarily strictly need it today. Just be aware you're gonna leave stuff at home, and you know, be okay with going back and getting it. Item number 10 on our list, you will get blisters from comfy shoes. Your sneakers were fine for errands, not 12 miles of walking on concrete. This is another one that I frequently talk about here on the channel as well, and that is choosing the right footwear when you come to Disney. Do not make the mistake of coming on brand new shoes. Definitely do something that is broken in. Even if you bought them, you wore them, and you said, oh, these are fine, and you wore them around the house, or you wore them to work, and they're not causing you blisters. It's nothing like walking constantly here. I mean, even me, as much as I have done walking here, have gotten blisters from just walking too much. Now, this doesn't happen for most people. I want to say when we're up here for vacation, I walk an average of about 24,000 to 26,000 steps in a day. However, when I'm here for work rather than vacation, and I'm doing a lot of walking, because if you've noticed, we've been changing scenery every single one of these tips. I'll walk around the park quite a bit for work. And my best day, or highest day, was 39,000 steps. And after that one, I did have a blister on the bottom of my foot. That one was brutal. So make sure that you are wearing good walking shoes that are broken in. I definitely recommend a good springy sock as well. Something with a little bit of cushion to help you out. You can get away with flip-flops here for a little bit, and so I'll bring flip-flops for, like, if I'm going to do a water ride, might change into flip-flops, especially because you don't want your shoes to get soaking wet. I also just recommend finding a good walking shoe that's worn and broken in before you come. Now, this next tip applies to a place like Blue Bayou back here, but this area is absolutely the worst area to do some talking and filming in, as you could probably tell, so I'm just going to point it out, Blue Bayou, and then we're going to go find somewhere quieter to talk. And that tip is officially that you will regret not making dining reservations. And the pithy phrase, you thought you could just wing it? Enjoy your third churro of the day. That's so great. So there are 4 table service restaurants in Disneyland and 3 Disney California Adventure, plus a whole host of them in downtown Disney that require advanced dining reservations. That is, that you need to book it at the 60-day mark. Once you are 60 days out from your trip, you can book those dining reservations, and some of them disappear sooner than others. You might be able to snag a Cafe Orleans dining reservation at the 21 to 30-day mark. If you try to book it the night before, it may not be available. Depends on the day that you're coming, what day of the week, and that sort of thing. I tried to book one for, I tried to change my reservation to a more desirable lunchtime over the weekend of Saturday and Sunday, August 16th and 17th, and was unable to do so. I had booked one, a couple of weeks before, but I couldn't make changes when we decided we wanted to eat at a later time. I couldn't make, or actually earlier time, I could not make that change after the fact because it was just too close to the time that, they were all gone. That's my point, sorry. And so Blue Bayou, that one's gonna disappear like super fast. If you're looking for Blue Bayou, you wanna eat in the restaurant that goes by Pirates of the Caribbean, then you have to make those reservations definitely in advance. You will regret not making them if you think that you can just go do walk-up for that place. Now, they do accept walk-ups, but they're gonna disappear pretty quickly as well. So make sure that you're there like right when the place opens if you wanna join the walk-up list. And I can't promise you how long you're going to wait on that walk-up list. But the idea of what they're trying to convey is if you wanted to eat there and then you're not because you didn't make a reservation, chances are that you're just going to be settling rather for something else. The third churro, maybe. And the 12th thing that will go wrong on your Disneyland vacation is that the wait times app will lie to you. 15 minutes somehow turns into 45. It's like magic. And there is some truth to this one. It's a small grain of truth, but you could be looking at the Disneyland app, and it is a 5-minute wait, and you will, you're here at Haunted Mansion, which is behind me, and you see that maybe Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters is at a 5-minute wait. You looked earlier, and it was at 20 or 25, so it's down to 5, and you're like, oh, that looks amazing. So you leave here, and you head all the way over to Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, only for you to get there, and it's still posted at 10, but man, it looks longer than when you were there earlier, and it was posted at 20. What is going on? Well, the chances are that it really was 5 at one point, and everybody else saw that it was 5, and everybody else ran over there. And so the wait times haven't had a chance to catch up yet, and therefore the wait time appears to lie. They do update the app relatively frequently, the wait times update, but it's not instantaneous. You know, it's not like there's no sensor at the beginning of the line, and as people walk through, it increases. They give a red card to somebody at the beginning of the line, and it has been scanned, and then when you get to the end, they scan it again. But from the time that they scanned it to give to you and the time that you got up there, that wait time's going to be wrong until it updates. So the wait times are inaccurate to a degree, but for the most part, they are pretty accurate. And our next tip is that you will run out of phone battery, even with a portable charger. Between photos, apps, and mobile orders, your phone dies before lunch. There's definitely some truth to this one, for sure. Not truth to your phone's gonna die even with a portable charger, because, you know, I bring these portable chargers and my phone never dies. I definitely have to use the charger, but I've never definitely been without a phone. Lightning Lane, I think, is the biggest culprit. That and just checking the app in general for wait times and all of that. But you are gonna burn through your phone, depending on how old your phone is. You had an older phone, the battery's gonna wear out a lot faster. Make sure you bring a charger from home or purchase a fuel rod, because you can get free swaps here in the park with fuel rod. Amy uses that all the time. She generally is swapping maybe 2 to 3 times a day, because there's not a whole lot of juice in one of those fuel rods, but it's free and you don't have to worry about, did you charge it before you came? That sort of thing, because you know you can always go get a full one. They're all over the park and they look like this. This is in Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree downstairs area. You can just swap them out, find one of these kiosks. There's a map on the app. There's a map on the app that you can look for that too. For our next tip, we're going to talk about the Baby Care Center here. The Baby Care Center is also where you come to find lost children. And similarly to the Blue Bayou one, there were just way too many people over there for me to feel comfortable talking over there. So number 14 is someone will get lost, briefly. Whether it's a kid or a distracted adult, there's always that "where did they go" moment. Isn't this the truth? I mean, it is so easy to get separated, to get turned around. Lost children, of course, is going to be the most prominent situation. The child is just not paying attention and they're in a busy crowd. You turn one way, they don't follow, and before you know it, it sets off that sort of panic-inducing moment. And generally, if you teach your kids to stay in the area where they got lost, if you notice quickly enough, you can usually find them. This has happened to us with Benjamin twice. We've always found him relatively quickly. The next thing you need to teach your children to do is to find a cast member, somebody with one of those little cast member buttons, pins, and go over and talk to them, because a cast member will be able to help them get reunited with their parents. The third thing that you need to do with a child is have them memorize your phone number. If they are too young to memorize your phone number, put something on them, a bracelet or what have you, with your phone number on it. You want a cast member to be able to call you. If none of that is true, like they can't call you because the child doesn't remember your number, doesn't know your number, and you didn't put it on them, the Baby Care Center that we just pointed out is where they are going to take lost children. That is something that you want to know. Lost adults, a little bit more difficult. You just pick up the phone and call them, hopefully. But if they're so turned around they don't know where they are, whenever they answer the phone, you may have to do some sleuthing to get reconnected with one another. Separation does happen, and definitely you need to be prepared for that. And our final item for this list is that you will plan everything and still feel unprepared. Spreadsheets, apps, vlogs, and yet chaos reigns. And that's part of the fun. And I wholeheartedly agree with that statement that chaos is kind of part of the fun. But so is planning, and those spreadsheets, and those vlogs, and those apps, and all of it to me. I mean, I am a planner. I'm a huge planner, so I love the planning aspect and watching everything. And if you actually saw my recent video about some big news that we had here on the channel, we announced that we booked our first Disney cruise. And so I am going through that right now because I've never cruised before. And so all the planning, all the hype, all the excitement, all the spreadsheets and the notes, I mean, we're keeping copious notes from the vlogs and the videos that we watched. And so, yes, it is absolutely part of the fun. But I realized as soon as we get on that trip, most of the stuff's going to get thrown out the window. I'm going to remember some of it, I'm going to forget a lot of it, and we're just going to have to roll with it and go with the flow. And that chaos is part of the fun, too. So lots of fun coming to Disneyland, whether it's planning or just the winging it when you get here. There's some things you need to plan for. There's also some things that you are just gonna have to wing. I think the key is, the bottom line is, the point is that you need to be flexible. You need to roll with the punches. When things come that don't go according to plan, adjust, adapt, and you'll have some fun. And that's it for our time here today at Disneyland. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. If you got questions about anything in this video, or really about anything in general, drop them in the comments below. I am always happy to answer them. Click this video to check out more of my Disneyland content. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.